Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. It's that time of the week again. It's Premier League predictions time. Another round of exciting and intriguing Premier League encounters are once again upon us as club football returns and resumes following an international break that was the last of this year. From here until March, it is constant, non-stop club football, and I, for one, I'm absolutely here for it. And like I say, this weekend we have an incredible round of fixtures to resume things once again in England's top tier division. But before we get into all the analysis and of course giving predictions, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. I also encourage you all to get involved in the comment section as well. Use and abuse that section down below, people, with your predictions, your talk, your analysis, all of that good stuff. I'm sure will all make for great and interesting reading down below. But most of all, of course, give me your predictions, because after all, where would a predictions video be after all without predictions? Sound good? Great. Now let's get things started, shall we? Let's kick things off with Saturday's lunchtime fixture. It is coming from Turf Moor, where Burnley take on Chelsea, and I have gone with a 2-0 victory in favour of the away side. Now, it is a big favourable game for Chelsea to get another 3 points under their belts, but, you know, wise people would often claim never bet on the early fixture, especially coming off the back of an international break. Those things can often kill momentum. They can often restart something for certain teams, but it would be foolish of me not to go with the favourite. Chelsea have stuttered a little bit at times this season, but I don't see them faltering here. As much as obviously I would like to see Scott Parker's side come up with something to throw a bit of a spanner in the works with Chelsea, a draw, even a win, I think that this has got a Chelsea win written all over it. I personally think that they are going to get the job done, and that is why I have gone with a 2-0 victory in favour of the Blues. Next up, one of the 3 o'clock games on Saturday will see West Ham travel to Bournemouth in an incredible game, this one. West Ham picked up a couple of good wins back-to-back this season under Nuno Espirito Santo before the break. Maybe the break came at the wrong time for them. Only time will tell. Whilst Bournemouth, you could probably might say the opposite. The break might have actually came at the right time for Bournemouth to get back, regroup, work on some things on the training ground. It could have been a blessing in disguise for Andone Areola's side. So much so that I think with them being at home, they probably are likely to get the victory in this game. They should have enough about them, particularly in the final third, to get the job done. But don't rule out West Ham. Maybe things were just starting to click for Nuno Espirito Santo and for this West Ham side just before the international break. Like I say, a couple of important wins for the Hammers, and you wouldn't back against them getting something from this game. But as it is, I'm going to go with my original gut instinct. I'm going to go with a Bournemouth win, and I'm saying 2-1 to the Cherries. Next up, the Amex Stadium awaits what could be an incredible game between Brighton and Brentford. I've gone with a 2-2 draw for this one, a Desmond, simply for the reason that both sides create a number of good opportunities. Sometimes you just don't have the firepower or the clinical nature up front just to put them away, especially Brighton, who have had a bit of a stuttering season so far, a bit of a mediocre season as far as what they're concerned. Brentford have actually probably done better than what a lot of people, including myself, were expecting and anticipating going into this one. And they obviously have an informed striker in Igor Thiago to watch out for in this particular game. I'm saying 2-2, but genuinely this game could go any which way. Either one of these sides could steal it. Either one of these sides could go on and win this game. I'm anticipating goals though. So I think we're going to get plenty of entertainment at the Amex for Saturday afternoon. Next up, Craven Cottage awaits the arrival of Premier League new boys Sunderland. And I'm going with a 1-0 draw. 1-0 win to the Black Cats here. Sunderland picked up a very good draw. That's what I was after. Very good draw in their last fixture before the international break against Arsenal. Big 2-2 draw. Slightly somewhat fortuitous circumstances in certain cases. But overall, battled till the end and were rewarded for their valiant effort in the dying embers of that game. Fulham, we know, can be extremely difficult at home. They can be very difficult at home. We know that they're a different animal at home than they are away. And there is seemingly some sort of pressure growing on Marco Silva. There does seem to be a bit of speculation surrounding where his future may lie. And so that could be a story that is worth keeping an eye on, especially as we go into an awkward run, shall we say, for Fulham from this point forward. And obviously, with how well Sunderland have started the season, very awkward start to that particular run-in. I'm going 1-0 Sunderland. I don't necessarily see goals galore in this one, but at the same time in saying that, I do think Sunderland will pick up the win. I just think that if they're to continue how they've started the season, then this is a very good opportunity for them to pick up another 3 points before the games really start to turn up the heat a few extra notches. So I'm going with Sunderland to win. I'm not completely confident. I still think Fulham can get something from this game, especially being the home side, because we know how difficult it can be to go to Craven Cottage and get something from this game. So, going to be awkward for the Black Cats, but something that I would expect them to navigate through in this one. Next up, Anfield. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. An English footballing classic, this one. And I'm going 2-1 to Liverpool. This is just hope. This is just fingers crossed and pray. We know that last season, Forest were awkward customers for Liverpool. We know that so far this season, most teams have been awkward for Liverpool. I'm hoping the Reds at home will get the job done. I'm hoping and praying. We should do. We really, really should do. But I don't know how much necessarily faith I have in that, in all honesty. These games coming up are going to be massive for the Reds. Massive. They're much more favourable than what we've had to endure over the past couple of months or so. But that doesn't mean anything. We have to go and win them on the field, not on paper. We should do, again, hopefully our big players turn up. Hopefully the likes of Salah are going to turn up after the international break and kick on from this point. Hopefully, Isak's going to be back and Wirtz is firing on all cylinders and, our defence is on point. Our midfield is back to how it was against the likes of Real Madrid and Aston Villa. We're going to skip the Man City one because that was terrible and that was abysmal. But hopefully we're back to how we know that we can perform. As far as what Forest are concerned, look. Big win last time out against Leeds. They obviously are in need of points. We obviously know that they've struggled this season through various different reasons. It's not out of the realms of possibility that they can get something from this game, but hopefully they don't. But they have the tools available to them to cause Liverpool problems. And if they execute a game plan that is direct, that is tenacious, that is very physical, they can definitely cause Liverpool problems. And that worries me a little bit. Overall, I'm praying, I'm hoping that Liverpool get the job done. I'm praying and hoping. But like I say, I don't want to say too much more. Depending. But fingers crossed, Liverpool get the job done. Next up, Wolverhampton Wanderers, the only side in the Premier League to be without a win so far this season, play host to Crystal Palace, and I've gone with a 2-0 win in favour of Oliver Glasner's side. I feel like this should be fairly routine for Crystal Palace, get a good 2-0 win under their belts, a solid win overall, even if it isn't 2-0, but a solid win overall. A couple of goals in there, maybe even a clean sheet like I've mentioned here. and heap more misery onto Wolves. The only thing that may obviously throw a bit of a spanner in the works is that Wolves are beginning a new era, new manager, maybe even a new manager bounce could obviously follow. So that's obviously going to be something worth considering when casting your own predictions maybe on this game. It's going to be an interesting one though, because of that new manager bounce and that new manager aspect of this particular game. You would expect Palace to win. You would probably back them before the new manager came in. You'd probably still back them now, given the fact that they are obviously the more complete side. They are obviously the more united side, shall we say. But again, not everything is a foregone conclusion. Not everything is a given. But you would expect Palace to win. Can Wolves get something from this game? Of course they could. Like I say, new manager bounce. Players wanting to show the manager who they are, what they are, and try and impress him on their first outing. It is possible Wolves get something from this game. But I'm going with the favourites. I'm going with what the majority of people would probably say as well. I'm going with a Palace win, and I'm going 2-0 to the Eagles. Next up, Saturday's evening game will feature from St James's Park, where Newcastle United will take on Manchester City. And I've gone with a 3-1 win in favour of City. Now, we know that Newcastle at home, very difficult opposition for the majority of teams. We know that very rarely the teams go away from home to St James's Park and dominate. I'm just concerned with Newcastle right now. I'm concerned with certain areas. I'm concerned with a lack of creativity. I'm concerned with a lack of defensive stability. And I feel like there are certain aspects of their team that have been worked out by opposition defences. Manchester City, on the other hand, I know it hasn't exactly been perfect for them this season. There's been a couple of bumps in the road. But against Liverpool, they were immaculate. They set out with a game plan and they executed it to perfection. If they had to pick up from where they left off against Liverpool last time out, they will certainly give Newcastle an extremely tough game. Extremely tough game. We know that obviously if Newcastle are on their game, they will give City a tough game. But I just think that with City, the form, the incentive between their teeth to obviously chase Arsenal down, and not only that, but the form of Erling Haaland, man. I mean, the form of Erling freaking Haaland is enough for me to put the scales well and truly in the City's favour here. So I'm going with City to win. I'm going 3-1. They're not going to have it all their own way, City, but I don't know. I just feel like with the way that these two sides have gone this season, and I know that all it will take is another couple of good results maybe for Newcastle to maybe turn things around, but maybe I just don't see it starting here, to be honest. I'm going with City to win, and win, scoreline-wise at least, by a 2-goal margin. Next up, moving on to Sunday's games, and first I've got action from Ellen Road as Leeds United are playing host to Aston Villa, and I've gone with a 2-1 win away from home for Unai Emery's side. Isn't it Elder Rome's possibility again for Leicester to get something from... Leeds to get something from this game? They, of course, have had a bit of an up and down season so far, but it's been mainly down than up in recent games. They've endured a tough run of fixtures, admittedly, but things don't exactly get any easier in the Premier League as they are quickly finding out. But, Daniel Farke is no stranger to that, and he's no stranger to the Premier League. Aston Villa, though, good run of form in recent games. Decent enough, barring one or two hiccups here and there. Had a bit of a slow start to the season, but have really turned it around these past couple of months or so. I think it's fairly favourable to assume that Villa get the win here. Not completely foregone, not a foregone conclusion, but I think it's very favourable that Aston Villa get the job done. I think they've got enough firepower up front. I think the midfield is well balanced. Defensively, there are still a couple of question marks, I think, which is quite different and strange from an Unai Emery side that we've become accustomed to seeing over the past several years, or even throughout his time as a manager. But it is something that I think Villa are looking at, licking their lips at, and are smelling blood. So I think Villa will get the job done, get the win, and get an all-important 3 points. Moving ahead now to Monday's game, and it will see action from Old Trafford as Manchester United take on Everton in what is a Premier League classic. I've gone with United to win. Again, isn't that realms a possibility for Everton to get us something from this game? Everton, we know, can sometimes turn it up against some of the big boys, and obviously in some of these types of games where it's going to be very physical, bit of a challenge. We know that the crowd are going to be really up for it. We know that they can turn it up in these types of games. So, isn't that always a possibility for Everton to get something? However, I just think United, 5 games unbeaten, good run of form, confidence is growing. I'm going with United. I'm going with United. Obviously, in an ideal world, both of these teams lose. But of course, that is obviously not possible. But no, as I say, I think United have got the confidence brewing. I think that they've got things just going right for them right now. And they are building something over there. I don't know if it's something sustainable. I don't know if it's something that is going to be consistent. But they've had a pretty good run in recent weeks. So I'm going with United to win and win by 2-1. And finally, in what I believe to be the biggest game of this round of fixtures, the main event of this weekend's round of Premier League action. It comes from the Emirates in a fierce and feisty and hopefully very entertaining North London derby. Arsenal, top of the table, taking on Tottenham. I've gone 2-1 Arsenal. Now I know that Arsenal have got injury issues. I know that Arsenal are struggling. It doesn't appear that they're going to be without a recognised striker leading the line. I don't think Gyökeres is back yet. I don't think Havertz is back until mid to late December. So it's going to be tough for Arsenal. And Tottenham should be smelling blood here. Tottenham should be fancying their chances. They have one of the best or the best league form away from home in the Premier League so far. I know that they have injury issues of their own, Spurs. But they should be fancying their chances of getting something from this game. Maybe not necessarily winning it, but getting something from this game. The very least that fans will want of Spurs is to show some fight. Show some fight. Actually lay a glove on Arsenal. Actually put up some sort of fight and put up some sort of challenge. Don't sit there and roll over. Don't basically cower. Don't be scared. Show some fight. Look at what Sunderland did. Sunderland showed some fight and they were rewarded with an equaliser. They were rewarded with a point against Arsenal. If Tottenham go into it with the same mentality, they can definitely get something from this game. Obviously, Arsenal have threats of their own. Saka, Eze. We know of them. Marino, at times, can turn into a clinical goal scorer from out of nowhere. And of course, set pieces are going to be massive. But Spurs should be going into this with no fear. No fear. North London derby, for God's sake. Throw the cliches in there. Form goes out the window. All of that kind of stuff. Throw it in all in there. I'm just going for Arsenal. Because I just think they have more ways to beat Spurs than what Spurs have to beat Arsenal. Like I say, open play may not be amazing, but it's certainly something that can and probably will get better for Arsenal. Set pieces, we know all about Arsenal's consistency from set pieces. I just think both of those things combined, and the way that Spurs sometimes do lose themselves in these big games and these big atmospheres, I just think Arsenal will get the job done. And I think it will be a massive, massive win for Arsenal if they can. Because, like I say, with the injury issues they've got, with the things that are going on right now with Arsenal, I just think that if they were to win this game, that would be a massive step forward for them. Massive step forward for them. And especially given the fact that they've got a tough run of fixtures coming up between now and the end of the year, that would mean so much for them. A massive injection of confidence and a boost of mentality going into those big games. So, I'm going with Arsenal to win. Isn't a realms of possibility for Spurs to get something, but I'm very much intrigued by this game, to say the least. I can't wait for this to play out on Sunday. And there you have it. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling, though. Drop your predictions for this weekend's round of Premier League games in the comment section down below. Would love to hear from you all on what you have to say about each and every single game. And, of course, like I say, the predictions on them as well. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Premier League predictions video. And I will see you and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.